Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, or if you're new, welcome. My name is Faith. Thank you so much for being here. Today I am doing a Q&A all about postpartum, being a first-time mom. I asked you guys to send me questions, anything you had to ask about how I've been postpartum and just dealing with being a first-time mom and how I've been enjoying it, but also some of the troubles and just growing pains you have when being a first-time mom and really having no clue what you're doing. So I asked you guys on Instagram for questions and also here on YouTube, so I'm just gonna kind of go through them all and, well, hopefully all of them. Summer is napping right now. I have her on a little camera that I'm watching. This is really the first time I've been doing naps in a separate room, and so I set up my camera. I use the Fun wireless camera and it hooks up to an app on your phone, which I love, but I literally can't stop looking at it. Here, I'll show you a close-up. I literally can't stop looking at this. I wish her face was turned so you could see it, but I'm just like obsessed with checking it. I can't stop putting my phone down just to check and make sure she's okay. I just constantly am checking on her to make sure that she's okay. I can't help it. I'm sure eventually I'll get over it, but it's just weird. Normally she naps out here in the living room, but it was just starting to get too distracting, and I'm starting a sleep plan with a sleep consultant. I will let you guys know how this goes. Again, it's just like the first day or two into it, so nothing too major has happened yet, but I will keep you guys updated. So let me just pull up the questions here and we'll get started. I have not even looked at these really. I glanced at them like early on, but I haven't even read all of the questions. So I have no idea what you guys asked, and I'm just gonna be answering these kind of off the cuff. Okay, first question, did your feet or hands get bigger? They were bigger during pregnancy, obviously, because of swelling, but they've since gone back down. So my feet are still the same size. I can still wear all of my shoes, thankfully. I know my mom grew a half a size with each of us, me and my sister. So that sucks because then you have to buy new shoes. That didn't happen to me. And I'm actually kind of surprised because my feet were so swollen. I was kind of worried that they were going to go up a size, but they didn't. And my hands, I think, are still working on the swelling coming down. I can tell just because I have 3 rings that I wear on my like wedding ring finger. I have an anniversary band, my wedding band, and then my engagement ring, and I still can't get my engagement ring to fit on my finger, but the other 2 can fit. So I think we're just working still on like swelling in the hands, and it's been really, really hot where I live, so that might be something to do with it too, but no, they didn't like stay bigger. Okay, next question. How is mom life treating you? Mom life, it's great. I love being a mom. Saying I'm a mom doesn't sound weird to me, or like it comes pretty naturally. I was talking to somebody the other day about how I remember when Nick and I first got engaged and like calling him my fiance, and then when we got married, calling him my husband, and like those big life events, that just felt like a lot and like really crazy, and it felt weird to say, but for some reason saying I'm a mom and that I have a daughter, it just like rolls right off the tongue. It doesn't feel weird at all. So I'm loving it. It definitely comes with struggles like sleep deprivation and just like constantly not knowing what's wrong with your baby. Like if they're crying, it can be overwhelming, but overall I think I've adjusted pretty well, and I'm hopeful that things will just continue to get easier and better. Next question, have you left summer alone with anyone? If not, when do you plan to? So no, I have not been apart from Summer yet. Like there's not been a time other than like going to take a shower in the house still with Nick watching her. There has not been a time where I've actually left her to go run an errand or do anything like that. And I think I'm getting to the point where I can eventually do that. The reason I didn't is because she's breastfed. I'm breastfeeding her, and I'm breastfeeding on demand, and the first 6 weeks of her life, she's almost 7 weeks, I kind of would just feed her constantly or whatever she wanted to. And now I'm learning that she really needs some sleep time that she's been missing out on. And a lot of the times I think the reason she was fussy or like eating more is because she's like overtired. She needs to sleep. So I'm realizing that I don't have to feed her like 20 hours out of the day. That might be an exaggeration, but I was feeding her a lot. I'm realizing that I don't have to do that. I just have to feed her like every couple hours to every 3 hours now. And once we get her sleep figured out, I think I'll be able to go out and run errands and just feel more comfortable about that. So hopefully soon, not that I'm like looking forward to leaving her or anything, but it's probably a good thing for me to go out and like do something. I think one of the first things I want to do is go get a pedicure. I'm like dying to get a pedicure after all the swelling in my feet just are dry and cracked and gross. Next question, how long before you felt back to normal? If you mean physically back to normal, I felt 100% back to normal at like 3.5 weeks to 4 weeks postpartum. That's when I literally felt like I could go out and like take a run and nothing was gonna happen down there. I was surprised, and this actually might be a question, like something you were surprised by, but I was surprised actually at how long my recovery was. I did tear, so maybe that had something to do with it, but it took like a full 2 weeks for me to be able to walk around really easily without any sort of pressure or pain. It wasn't terrible after a week, but I had always just heard like with vaginal births within 5-6 days you're back to normal, and that just wasn't the case for me. It definitely took 2 weeks to really see improvement, and then after that 3rd week I felt almost back to normal, and then again by a month postpartum I was completely fine. Okay, what's the most activity you love to do with summer? I think what's your favorite activity you love to do with summer is maybe the question. My favorite is laying with her outside on the waterproof like blanket that I lay in the grass. It's just like a nylon material. I filmed a video about outdoor activities with a newborn, and that was one of the activities we did, and I just love it. She seems to really enjoy it, just looking up at the trees, and it's just really relaxing and nice. So that's my favorite activity that we do together. What age will baby Summer have a new baby brother or sister? So excited. Well, I'm glad you guys are excited for that. I have zero plans on getting pregnant again anytime soon. I mean, I don't want a huge gap between our kids, so I guess maybe in like a couple years, but no, like right now, please, I just need a break. Like, I don't miss being pregnant. I kind of knew I wasn't gonna miss it, but then part of me was like, maybe I will miss being pregnant. Like it was fun to have the bump a little bit, but no, I do not miss being pregnant. I'm dreading the first trimester again. If it was anything like this pregnancy, I'm dreading it because I was so nauseous for 12 weeks, and the 3rd trimester sucked too. Like, I just felt so blobby and like tired and heavy, and everything hurt, and sleeping was not fun. Although I got a ton more sleep then than I am now, but you get what I'm saying. I really don't miss being pregnant, and this newborn phase is also super hard and tiring, so to do that again, but then also have Summer who needs my attention, it's not on my radar right now, so don't get any ideas. I do not foresee myself getting pregnant or having another child for a little bit. What was the hardest part of recovering after birth, and what's your biggest piece of advice? The hardest part of recovering, I mean, I guess, like I said, I tore, so I'm guessing that that's why it was painful down there. And like the pressure, I think that would just be the hardest part, because it was really hard for me to like walk around and get up and do things. So I guess that was the hardest part. My biggest piece of advice is just try to be patient. Patience is something that I thought I was really good at. Like, I thought I had a lot of patience just in general with different life circumstances. But what I've learned about myself through this process is I am such a creature of habit, and I love schedule, and that's just out the window with a newborn. So my biggest piece of advice is to just have patience, know that your life is gonna be super chaotic, you're gonna have no idea what to expect from your newborn, and just be patient and know that it'll eventually get better. And I'm saying that now, and I still need patience. Like, I do not have a schedule. I just know in my head that it will get better because so many people have told me it will, and I'm finally like through the period of just being frustrated and realizing that I just need to have patience. So dig deep and get some patience because it is tiring and confusing, and it will get better. Did anything catch you completely off guard postpartum? That was the question I thought I had read. So yeah, I just didn't expect my recovery to last like 2-3 weeks. I thought it would have been shorter than that. I don't really know why that was for me. Maybe it was the tearing. I really don't know how bad I tore. They didn't tell me. I thought I heard someone say 5 stitches, but I'm not 100% sure. I don't know if it was a 1st-degree tear, 2nd-degree tear. I have no idea. I didn't look. Honestly, I still haven't looked down there like with a mirror or anything, so I don't know. What was the hardest thing to adjust to being a first-time mom? I'm due in 5 weeks, first-time mom as well. Well, first of all, congratulations. That's super exciting. The hardest thing to adjust to was 110% the sleep deprivation. The first like couple weeks, just adjusting to the fact that you're not going to get a lot of sleep was so hard. Now I'm used to it. So like I'm used to only getting 4-5 hours of sleep a night, and I can function on that, and I actually feel totally fine. But getting used to that was really hard, and I would just cry and cry because I was just so tired. So that was 100% the hardest thing. So find something fun to watch on TV or on your phone or something, because you need to distract yourself from being so tired, because there's nothing you can do about it. You're just gonna be up all the time. Yeah, so that was definitely the hardest thing to adjust to. And my mom messaged, "How did you get to be such a great mama? Must have had a good role model, LOL." Yes. Thank you, Mom. She has been so awesome. She's been over at the house literally every day during the week just to help me cook things, clean things, just be there for support, like mental support, because it's so hard. I don't know how people do this without someone like that helping them, just from an emotional standpoint, because you're stuck in the house all day, every day for at least the first 3-4 weeks. Like, you're not going anywhere. You could go on a stroller walk or something, but you're really not going anywhere, and having someone there to help you and just visit with you and talk with you and keep you sane is so important. Do you have postpartum hair loss or depression? So no, I haven't had any postpartum hair loss yet. I don't know if that could still happen. Again, I'm 6.5 weeks postpartum now, almost 7 actually. So I haven't had any postpartum hair loss. I don't know, I'm still taking my prenatal vitamins. I don't know if that has something to do with it. And I haven't had postpartum depression, thankfully. I think in the beginning, it maybe was like baby blues, but I think it was more just like being overwhelmed and tired. I don't really think I had any sort of postpartum depression or even baby blues, but just like maybe a little bit. One of the things I remember being most sad about, aside from the sleep, is just like missing my husband, because he went basically right back to work. So he was gone all day. And then by the time he got home at 5:30, we'd eat and like maybe talk a little while I was feeding her or caring for her. But then I wanted to go to bed at like 7. So if she fell asleep for a nap late at night, I just went to bed. So we literally didn't see each other, and still struggle to like find time. I'm hoping that this new sleep schedule and routine will help us have some more time just to like talk. But that was one of the hardest things. Like, I remember crying about just missing my husband, missing talking to him. Speaking of the husband, I know there were a couple questions about sex after giving birth, or just like sex postpartum. So I will answer that. I am not scared to answer that. Mom, dad, grandpa, whoever, if you don't want to watch this part, just skip through. But yeah, someone asked, sorry if too personal, Faith, but how is sex after labor? I'm in my final trimester now. First of all, congratulations. That's exciting. To be honest, I don't know if this is weird or not, but, and it probably would be different if, I'll get into it, but we actually have not had like actual sex yet. And that's probably because we don't have any condoms, and like I alluded to earlier, I have no plans on getting pregnant, and I want to be as proactive as possible in ensuring that that does not happen, because I just really am not ready for that. And we just don't have any condoms and haven't gotten any. If we had, we probably would have had sex like a week or two ago. Like I would have felt up to it. And I'm almost 7 weeks postpartum. We have like done other things to, you know, help each other out, if you know what I mean. Sorry, TMI, but in terms of vaginal intercourse, we have not done that yet. I foresee that happening shortly, and I would have been up for it probably a week or two ago. We just didn't get condoms, and I was like, no, we're not happening unless we have a condom. I think you are super fertile right now. Like even if you're breastfeeding and not getting a period, that's a total myth that you can't get pregnant. Like you definitely can. And I'm pretty sure you're even more fertile right now. I could be wrong, but that's what I've heard. How difficult is it recovering from delivery and tending to a baby at the same time? So I've kind of covered this, but yeah, that is really hard because like I said, for the first couple weeks, it was hard for me to even walk around a lot. Like there was just a lot of pressure. So definitely if you have help, if you can find help, definitely do that, because it is hard to do both. Once I felt better, I definitely felt more confident in taking care of Summer. So that is definitely a hard part of it. How many children would you like to have? I would have said 3 before I had Summer. Now I think, you know, maybe just 1 more. I definitely want to have at least 1 more just so that Summer has a sibling, but I don't know if I could do it a 3rd time. It would depend on how my next experience is. Not even because of the like labor and delivery. Honestly, I had a really good labor and delivery. Don't get me wrong, it was still really hard and painful, but compared to others, mine was really, really easy. But it's just this newborn phase is so hard. It's so hard and exhausting. And I don't know how people do it. Like, I don't know how people have toddlers and then have babies, and yikes. I mean, I'm sure you just figure it out, but I'm thinking 2 at this point, maybe 3. What are newborn must-haves? I actually made a video all on this, so I will link that down below. I think I did 10, was it 10? Newborn essentials or something like that. So that video will be linked down below. If you have more babies, will you wait until the baby is born to find out the gender? So if you are new here, you may not have known that we did not find out the gender of Summer. So we went into labor and delivery having no idea if it was a boy or a girl. And I think we will do the same thing again. I would like to find out the next time, but again, Nick really doesn't want to. He was the one kind of the driving force behind not finding out, which I'm happy we didn't. I think it was really cool and different and just made delivery even more exciting. The second time around, I guess I'd like to find out, maybe, but I don't think we're going to. Did you cry? Yes, I cried. I probably cried daily, if not every other day, for the first couple weeks, maybe longer. I haven't had that in the last few weeks. You know, once in a while I still do cry just because it's overwhelming, but the first couple weeks were the hardest, and you do cry, and it's okay. Like, you feel better after, honestly. Did you have visitors during the day? Yes, I alluded to this. My mom would come over and help a lot. If anything, what has been easier than you originally thought? Okay, what has been easier? Weight loss. So definitely that would be it. The postpartum like weight loss and losing the pregnancy weight, I have done basically nothing to lose the weight, and I actually weigh less now than I did when I got pregnant. So, you know, just between maybe breastfeeding, I do take her on walks. I'm eating really healthy now because she has a milk and soy protein allergy. I talked about that in a couple of vlogs. So I'm eating really healthy, like no junk food, because all junk food has soy in it or something bad in it. So that has been so easy. I didn't think it'd be too hard for me, but I certainly did not think that I would weigh less than when I got pregnant this soon at all. Okay, those are all of the ones for Instagram. Let me see if you guys have some on YouTube on the post I made. Okay, yeah, there's a few on here. Let's see if there's any different ones. Have you struggled at all with the changes to the dynamics of your relationship with your husband? This was a big one for me. That was a hard adjustment. Yeah, so I kind of alluded to that. It is really hard. Like, you miss your husband. You don't see him a lot if he goes to work right away. And if he doesn't, honestly, if you're breastfeeding, there's very little your husband can do to help you, because especially in those first couple weeks, you are breastfeeding your baby half the day. Yeah, you just are. So there's very little he can do for you, and it is hard. Yeah, that, and then just not seeing him or being able to have adult conversations or just hang out and watch TV and talk, because then when the baby's sleeping, I mean, I know you're supposed to have noise around and like not be super quiet, but come on, you're gonna try and be quiet and not wake up the baby. So it's just really hard. Like, you really don't have time for each other for a very long time. What is the story or inspiration behind her names? So Summer came because Nick and I were brainstorming names, and Nick really loves winter time. He just is a winter person. We live in the north, so he just loves it. So and I just thought the name Winter was really, really pretty, but because she was being born in the summertime, I just felt like, I mean, we still could have named her Winter, but I just felt like people would make fun of it, or, you know, just be annoying about it. But then I thought, well, what if we just named her Summer? We like the seasonal names, and it stuck. Then for the middle name, my sister's middle name is Grace, and I love that name. I also love that it's like similar to my first name, Faith. It's like a biblical or like, you know, faith-based name, and it's my sister's middle name, and I just love my sister. And if Summer is anything like my sister, then I've done a good job, because my sister is just an angel. So that's where the middle name came from. So Summer, Grace, that's how we came up with that. How did you handle the sleepless nights? I'm going through it right now with my newborn, and this one got a couple likes. Yeah, how do you handle it? You just push through. You find YouTube videos to watch, you find TV to watch, you read articles, you shop online for cute baby clothes. One thing I suggest not doing that I did all the time was like research different things on how to get them to sleep better, and, you know, just constantly trying to figure out what to do to make it better. Honestly, for the first month or so, there is nothing you can do. There is nothing. I mean, maybe I'm wrong. I'm starting this sleep schedule training right now with a sleep consultant, so she might say differently. I could be wrong. But yeah, I just feel like you're gonna have sleepless nights in the beginning, for sure. We're working on that now at 6-7 weeks to make that better, but you just have to push through. I know it sucks. I know it sucks, but you just have to push through. I currently am in my last trimester, congratulations, looking for confidence tips and ways to feel good and confident after baby. So if you mean confidence in terms of like body confidence after baby, one thing I would say, well, once you give birth, you already realize what a miracle it is when you're pregnant, but then once you actually give birth, it is just like crazy what your body can do. And that just gave me more appreciation for my body. And so I didn't really care what it looked like. Like, this was a crazy vessel for a little human being, and it just is amazing. And I was able to push that baby out and bring it into the world, and it's just such a miracle that I think you appreciate your body in a different way, and it makes you a little bit less self-conscious maybe. For sure there's changes, but just keep reminding yourself what your body did and what your body created, and it gives you a greater appreciation for it. And you know, I have found stretch marks on my stomach. I didn't think I had any. I couldn't see them when I was pregnant, and now I see that I do have them. And honestly, at first when I noticed them, I was like, darn, like I thought I was gonna get through this without stretch marks. But you know what? It's a reminder of what you did and the miracle that happened. And I honestly don't care. It's not a big deal. Just keep reminding yourself of what a miracle it was to have your baby. Okay guys, I think that is all the questions. If you have any more questions, feel free to leave me a comment down below and I will respond, or send me a DM on Instagram. I love talking to you guys, giving you encouragement or answering any questions you have. I hope that you enjoyed the video. Summer is still napping. She is a champ. I am hopeful that this sleep thing we're doing is going to work. If it does work, I will let you know and get you the details on how you can do it and like who I'm working with and how she can help you and things like that. So hopefully it's working. We will see. I'll let you know. But yeah, love you all so much and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.